Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On the Deck. My name is Adam Arduna, this is my mom Gina.
Hello.
Today we are going to be diving in.
Oh, good thing. Diving in.
You see that? See what we did there? See what I did there? Be diving into the 2016 Summer Olympics, which is going to be held this year in Brazil, which is the host country for the games this year. And so it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
Because there's a twist to it that has nothing to do with athletics.
Well, twist is a good word.
It is a good word because a lot of people right now are concerned for what may be going on down there in Brazil.
For health and safety.
Yes. And the big question on all these people's minds right now is what's going on with the Zika virus being carried by mosquitoes.
Right.
And right now it's just being run rampant down there.
Right. Well, and also, you know, mosquitoes are bred in water, and brings the second part of it is the water in Brazil is supposedly not where it's supposed to be.
Extremely contaminated, and so
nasty is the word you're looking for.
Exactly, just nasty. And it's just it's crazy to think about that. With all that water down there, they haven't found a way to get it cleaned up or sanitary for people to at least swim in for real, I guess. I don't know what they're trying to do, but the big question on people's minds is, if you're an athlete, would you go down there and compete? Or if you were a spectator, would you go down there and just watch? Or if you were someone that is a journalist or something like that, would you go down there and take place in calling the games and do your job? So I guess I'm just going to ask you, since we're discussing this, what are your initial thoughts on going down there? I guess just in general, out of the three categories I just mentioned.
Well, let me start with American. I really like, and seriously, I'm one of these people that I understand there's a broad world out there and it's important to expose yourself. But honestly, when I travel, I'd rather just stay in America. We've got beaches, we've got mountains, we've got deserts, big cities. Like, I don't feel like there's a ton of stuff I can see other places I can't see here. And if I really want to see it, I'll go to Disney World because they fake it and bring it in. Between Disney World and Vegas, I can pretty much see anything.
And you get to hang out with Mickey Mouse, which is awesome. So.
Or some strippers in Vegas, whatever. But that being said, the opportunity to go represent America somewhere is huge. And I mean, the kind of honor that is, I don't even think there's a word for it. You got to find a different word than honor because it's such a privilege.
Right.
And if you're an athlete competing on the highest level, and we're competitors, we're athletes in this house, I think it would be hard for me to say no. So as an athlete, I think I'd really struggle with it, but I'd have to rely on the U.S. Olympic Committee and trusting that they know that our health and safety is their #1 concern. So I guess as an athlete, I'd probably go, but I would have major reservations because didn't you tell me that the water, like even the water they bathe with, that they have to port in water?
Yes, they're importing all of the countries that are going or that are traveling there are importing their own water just so that way the athletes don't have to worry about the type of water that they're drinking during their off times or whatever.
Showering in, because you know when you're in the shower, it gets in your eyes.
I mean,
your mouth
washing your hands, anything that you do on a regular basis that you do at home is not going to be the same down there.
So you got to wash your hands to clean your hands and get them in the nasty water. And it's like, would you wash your hands in the toilet?
That's it. As funny as that is, that's exactly what it is. I mean, think about it. If you're an athlete, you get abrasions, cuts, scrapes all over the place, and there's no guarantee that you won't get an infection by the water just because you're trying to clean yourself.
So I understand there are water filtration systems and things like that. So I'm going to assume that in the athlete's village, they're bringing in very specific water filtration systems for them to bathe in and wash their hands in. And then bringing in bottled water, distilled water for them to drink.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that because you want to assume the best.
Well, that's what they've said up to this point, but we don't really know. Just like for the Winter Olympics with Sochi, they said they had everything set up and they had nothing set up. They said it was really tough conditions. For Sochi anyways, there was hardly any snow. It was supposed to be the Winter Olympics and the sun, it was like 60 degrees out there.
It was like
it's beautiful. And so they had a really tough time. Well, now it's the Summer Olympics and they've had all this time to prepare and they've had nothing set up for the athletes to come and perform at a high level.
And I think I just read that the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, checked on Brazil 3 years ago, and they were behind schedule then.
Right.
So then they checked back in like, 12 months ago and like, oh, nothing's changed. Well, who was monitoring that? Shouldn't you have had inspectors all along the way? Shouldn't you have had benchmarks?
Yes, it should, a monthly or 2 month, whatever the period was, you got to check in and say, hey, are we up to code here? Are we up to code there? Do we have what we need in this area? I don't know what they did.
And
they just took their hands off the wheel.
Basic. I mean, we're not talking about, oh, did you expand your roads? Did you bring an extra porta potty? You're talking about water. If you're going to give the Olympics to a place that has an issue with clean water to begin with, you would think you'd be monitoring them heavily all along the way, not the last, oh, it's 8 months, we better do something kind of thing.
Correct.
I'm sad for Brazil because I think they should have had that more together. Well, the water's one thing. Didn't you tell me that they may not even have air conditioning?
The word on the street is, and I'm about 95% sure, and I actually saw this on the documentary, is that they're going to be charging the athletes for air conditioning in their apartments or wherever they're living at, because the country doesn't have the resources to provide full air conditioning for everyone there.
I can't.
And so you're talking about premier elite athletes that are
Doesn't the Olympics kick off in August?
Yes, it just blows my mind that you're the host country and you're having to charge athletes by the hour or by whatever it is to be able to turn on the air conditioner just to cool off.
And you know darn good and well, you're down there by the equator in August, and you're not prepared to provide air conditioning for the athletes.
Correct.
For your guests. And that's the thing about being the host country.
It's an honor to do that.
It is. Everyone is your guest.
Yes.
Your job is to make sure everything's prepared.
It's like having a big party. You want to make sure everyone is comfortable and enjoying themselves and there's no hang-ups. And it seems like ever since they announced that it was going to be down there, everyone celebrated and that was it.
Yeah,
nothing else took place.
You saw all kinds of colored feathers.
We got the Olympics.
You can't drink our water.
Don't worry, there's Zika. It's like, I mean, how do you feel comfortable about going down there as anybody when you know this is going on down there?
The only thing I could say as an American athlete, an athlete representing the United States of America, we're going to bring our own stuff.
Yes.
You can believe we're going to have our own generator run our air. You can believe we're going to have our own water. I don't trust you. I'm bringing my own.
Exactly.
So I think if I were an athlete, to answer your question, if I were a United States of America American athlete, yeah, I would probably go on the condition that our Olympic Committee was going to take care of us. And I think we will.
And I know that other countries are taking precautions. I know China came up with a insulated net to protect their athletes from, I'm not even joking, they came out with a new design. The Chinese came out with their uniforms.
No.
And, sometimes you see shorts and short sleeves and polos. They're in all long sleeve pants, long sleeve shirts, and an insulated netting to ensure that they don't get bit by the mosquitoes. It's ridiculous.
I think I'm now I'm at a loss for work. You got people coming out in full netting.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm done. I'm at a loss for words.
I think, as like you said,
but maybe they're smart. Maybe they're smarter than everybody else because they're not trying to bring. You know what? The Chinese will be the first ones to slap a mask on too. If someone's got a cold, a bird flu, half of China's walking around with the mask.
Exactly.
So
they're used to the big epidemic.
They're ahead of everybody else.
They know something we don't. But I agree with you. I think, like you said, if you are an athlete, you want to go and represent your country in the best ways that you can, and you want to try to compete at the highest level and show your worth. And so I think it is worth going down there, but you just really have to be careful.
Now, for your next two questions, as a journalist, you're the journalist. You are the journalist. I think for your job, sometimes you have to gut up, but if you're in a place where you 4-star, 5-star hotel, which a lot of journalists can't afford to stay there, their companies are sending them down there on the cheap.
Hey, we were lucky to get you down there.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your plane ticket, your passport.
Right.
Kind of, you're at the Motel 8 in Rio.
Yeah.
That would be a toss-up. I might have to tap out and let someone else do that. And quite frankly, just as a spectator, the answer is no. I will wait for the Olympics to come to Seattle or Chicago or somewhere. I'm definitely not going to Rio. I'll watch it on my couch with the remote in both hands.
And I don't have to be hot, and I don't have to be worrying about Zika virus or contaminated water or anything like that.
It's one thing you're competing, you take the risk, but you're just going down there to watch and get Zika. No, thank you. No, I got mosquitoes right here. I'm
Oh man, that's tough.
good. Well, the good news is the Olympics are going to be on TV.
Yeah, and with all that, there is going to be Olympics this year, and I do hope that everyone is safe and
Yes.
enjoys themselves,
Yes.
and hopefully this does bring the world together, because there are very limited opportunities for other countries to join together and do something special, and so that's what the Olympics is for, and so I hope people are down there enjoying themselves. And
Well said, son.
so we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. But I guess with that, we want to say thanks for watching, and we appreciate your time, folks. Okay.